Hello to you all. Today we're going to be taking a look at a bipod from Fiachi. This is their B13. Simple cardboard box. Open up. It's in a plastic bag and it comes with your user manual. Inside the bag you have your bipod along with your Allen key, along with some extra M-lock screws. There are some screws already installed on the bipod. I have already installed this before, messed around with it, shot it before, just repackaged it to do a little nice unboxing for you guys. So usually on my channel I've done mid-tier to upper tier stuff, usually none of the budget stuff, but this is going to be one of the first real budget items I've ever done. This bipod right here is available on Amazon for a little bit over $20. So I'm gonna go over the features and everything, what I like, dislike about it, and also, how does this compare to the more name brand renowned bipods out there. So before you, this is a Radian rifle. This is a 15.5 M-lock handguard, and I'm just going to go over the installation real quick. It's pretty straightforward, just like any kind of M-lock accessory. Here on this, it will take up 2 M-lock slots. All I gotta do is get those lined up, and at first glance, it might look like this bar might be in the way, but you're able to get around and place your hex key in there and still turn it just fine. And this is a 3/32 hex key that I'm using, not the actual one that came in the package. So I have it mostly installed now. I'm not going to snug it down all the way right now. So with it using 2 rail sections, you do have some mounting options if you want for the forward or for the back. So if I want to, I can actually loosen this back one up just a little. And then depending on where you want to put it, you can actually mount it a little bit farther forward or back, somewhere in between. You have that option since each little locking section does actually use its own individual M-block slot. As the fitment, it is angled to accept different rails and everything. So it is not just a snug fit around it. It does go up at an angle here on the sides, and it does not add too much width when in the folded position. And when it goes down, of course, you're gonna have your legs go out of the angle. That's not really an issue right there. But as far as fitting on multiple rails, this is a bit on the thinner side, and I've used it on the M-lock on the bottom of the Brin, just testing it out, as well as other little carbon fiber M-lock handguard, and there was no issue as far as mounting it. So other features on the bipod include these. So that's actually, I've sat around and kind of just used this as a fidget toy, honestly, just shooting these little legs out and everything. So the legs as a whole, they are attached between these screws at the top and held into place and locked into place in the down position with this spring right here, which is pretty strong. You can actually just give it a tap and kind of pop your legs into action. It's not too bad. I think you might, if you do have to pop it back on, it might take a little bit of effort, but nothing horrible. And that is fun. So, if you have your bipod in the folded position and you need to drop down real quick, kind of just give a tap to your legs and then you're ready to spring into action. On these legs, you have these little push buttons right here, which allow you to pop them out. And you have a total of 5 different increments. You're able to lock it in. I didn't do exactly at 5, but they're there. And on the end, you have these non-slip little rubber pads. And as you can see, if the camera will focus, they'll kind of add a little step right there. So it gives you a little bit more of a little bit more friction so it doesn't go slipping out from under your rifle. And also, as you can see, they do spin. So if you do need to move the rifle just a little bit to make little adjustments to make it a bit more comfortable while you're shooting, you do have the option for these feet to spin. Now, if you've been into guns for a while, or even probably just for a few seconds, you are probably well aware that gun accessories can be obscenely expensive. Like, you're asking why and how does this cost this much? You could have little flashlight mounts that cost $120, optic mounts that cost $400, optics cost $2, $3, $4, $5,000, flashlights cost $300. It's crazy. And then, you have some things that come in that are much, much more affordable for most people, and they're a great stepping stone into something where you might end up spending more money for a different product. Now, I'll say foolishly, I have foolishly bought some products that I spent a lot of money on, and it's really of no use to me. So this right here is Atlas V8 bipod. This one right here, this is actually one of the cheaper, or possibly even the cheapest bipod that they make. This costs about $220 right here. And what's crazy, this is like mid-range. There's a whole other, I forgot the company, like Acutech or something like that. Their bipods cost $400, $500. This is like middle ground right here. And you guys might be wondering, so 20 bucks, 200 bucks, 10 times more. What is the deal? Is it worth it? What do you get from it? I'll try to give you my insight on that. So is the $200 worth it over the $20 one? Speaking for myself personally, this right here, no. This and brands like it and above it are definitely serious piece of kits for those who are serious about precision shooting and stuff like that. That's definitely not me. This is pretty much a waste of money. This and the rifle it's on, a 338 Lapua Magnum, both of them are just pretty much collecting dust. But for people who, you might not know if you like precision shooting, laying down shooting, you kind of just want to tickle your fancy, find out. 20 bucks, if you don't like it, hey, you're not hurting. And if you do like it, save up, maybe upgrade to something like this once you get a different rifle and everything. But right here, of course, the costs are going to be different. You have to take into consideration where and how they're made. China versus anything made in the US, Europe, stuff like that. Just because it's made in China doesn't mean it's going to be cheap. iPhones don't get their noses turned up at them because they're made in China. Things can be made less in China simply because they pay the labor a lot less than they would in the US or EU. Bottom line, they could source the best of parts around the world, come to China, make them, pay pennies for the labor, and it still comes out cheaper than, having to pay a American or European, a different wage and everything. That's that part right there. Then of course the construction of the two. Here you just have decently thick gauge metal that's bent into place, little cut bars and everything, screws, two screws that hold it all together, springs. Of course, that's going to be cost less than something that is made out of solid chunks of billet that are machined, and you have to get your, knurling right on this. Night and day difference. But I'm definitely going to say, if you're just starting off, you definitely don't need to go to, $200. It's just, I'm bad with money, make poor financial decisions, more so than anybody should. But, for $20, I mean, why not? Just one day you might think, oh, hey, I have this bipod laying around, and you're not going to be hurting for $20. Then you could end up having a good experience because you have some equipment to facilitate something new you want to try. So a couple of things you guys might want to look out for when you are running this bipod. So let's say if you have your rifle slung over your shoulder, something like that, you should watch out of bumping this bipod, because if you let's just say you're spinning back, something like that, and something just taps your bipod like that, you're going to have a leg sticking out. Your rifle will be up here, leg sticking out. You might bump into something. You might not be aware this is sticking out. So that is something, since it doesn't have a very tight retention system. With these springs right here, it is situated on a lip So there's little indentation. So this side and this side are raised or higher than the little groove it sets in. I can say if it's in the down position and I lift up on the spring, or even in the up position and I pull back on the spring, I cannot really release any tension from right here. So I'm not sure how hard it will be by hand to put it up here if it comes off. It has not come off for me. I haven't dropped this or anything like that. You know, I might try it eventually. I'm gonna try it some more out on some rifles before I start kind of torture testing it and everything. But just a couple things to look out for. Other than that, lockup's good. I haven't had any issues with the feet slipping, anything like that from the locking positions. But I'm going to continue trying this out. Then I might try to abuse it just a little bit, and we'll see where it goes. So I appreciate you guys watching. Take care.